one of the most brilliant and kind of magical therapists in the 20th century was this guy named Milton Erickson, who maybe you've heard me mention him. He
Yeah.
was known as the Wizard of the Desert, I think, because he lived in Arizona and people would go see him and he was very strange. He would do very strange things. It was very kind of like, what is going on here? But he was brilliant. He was an innovator in clinical hypnosis and he had a different way of doing it. It was much less formulaic, like, "You were getting very sleepy, and now I will count from 10 to 1, and you will become more and more sleep." That's kind of like formal approach
Yeah.
to hypnosis, and his was much more improvised, much
Mhm.
more much more personalized to whoever was in front of him,
Mhm.
and he could put people into very deep trances and then do things that would cause these transformations without them being aware of how he did it, which I experienced personally because I worked for a number of years with his kind of maybe foremost disciple, this guy named Jeff Zeig, who ended up founding and directing the Milton Erickson Foundation, which kind of educates people in his methods.
Yeah.
And I took those classes, but then I kind of worked with him one-on-one too. And he would do things that were very confusing. And then over the next few days, I'd find myself experiencing these transformations.
Hmm.
Yes, that's clearly kind of had something to do with whatever it was he did. But Erickson was always kind of telling stories and
Mhm.
using metaphors and not explaining them, like just kind of, just telling these stories and then they would end up having an effect. And what Jeff says is that is the best way to understand Erickson is through the lens of art. That Erickson was really kind of like an artist
Mm.
and doing almost like improvised poetry or something that really had a very deeply transformative effect. But attention was extremely important there. The degree of just kind of focus um, was was remarkable. And people would say stuff like they'd go and see him and they felt love. And not because he was he was doing strange things, but nothing untoward.